Hi, this is Tracy Ensminger with my presentation of the case study, Every Day Counts. Hi, this is Tracy Ensminger and this is my presentation of the case study, Every Day Counts. The new principal at Golden Oak has just met with district superintendent and was asked to look into excessive student absences, among other concerns. Mr. Rhodes, a first-year principal at Golden Oak, has been asked by Dr. Newman, the district superintendent, to first address the issue of declining attendance for their campus. Mr. Rhodes wants to promote the current and future success and well-being of each student and readily agrees to look into it. Dr. Newman further explained that state law for attendance was what the school board followed, with excused absences being illness, death in the immediate family, inclement weather, or a valid reason excused by the principal with prior approval. Students' grades could be reduced by 10 points for the quarter after 5 unexcused absences. Mr. Rhodes was made aware of the fact that the school district has a positive relationship with entities such as school services and juvenile court. Societies are better when students are fully educated, and states require parents to send their children to school. 85% of students at Golden Oak have missed 10 or more days from each school year. Furthermore, some school staff have not followed the district's absence policies, making decisions that do not align with the school or district policies. To begin, Mr. Rhodes needs to determine whether or not legal or ethical issues have occurred as a result of excessive absences. The district of Golden Oak campus has a board of directors that adheres to state laws in regards to attendance, which states that students' absences are excused in the case of illness, death in the immediate family, inclement weather, or a valid reason excused by the principal with prior approval. States require that students attend school and require compulsory attendance, depending on the state, up to a certain age, typically 17 to 18 years of age. When students do not attend school regularly, it can affect their grades. States and societies overall can feel the effects when students do not meet their full potential to contribute to society. Courts are able to intervene in cases where caregivers are not requiring that their child or ward attend school. Although the excessive absences of students either are allowed by parents or school, there is an ethical issue as well as legal. Ethically, adults that do not enforce attendance rules are harming the children that are allowed to miss school excessively, as well as harming their own integrity. The students are being taught that it is okay for them to not be held to the same standards as others. After viewing 5 student files, Mr. Rhodes decides it will require all stakeholders to correct underlying issues involved in excessive absences. Declining attendance at Golden Oak High School prompts the new principal to bring staff together to review district attendance policies and plan how stakeholders can make the commitments necessary to work together, communicate about, and improve attendance for the benefit of students, schools, and communities. Before bringing stakeholders into the picture, Mr. Rhodes narrows his focus on assumptions and relevant issues affecting the attendance of 5 students. 5 students with excessive absences that are being excused or unreported by unauthorized staff at Golden Oaks High School. Golden Oaks is a high school with grades 9 through 12, with students from middle-income families, some students living in poverty and some in high-income families. In recent years, the population of the area has become more diverse. A closer look at the students' files. Karen is a married student. More information is needed about her circumstances. Student file for Tyrone. It appears that teachers believe that Tyrone's absences are great opportunities to learn. We do know that his academic progress has been average. Student file. Christina's academic progress has been poor. Notes reflect a request from her algebra teacher to conference with her parents. More information about the dates for the religious meetings are needed. In student file, Carl's excessive absences are supported by his parents. It is relevant that Carl's father has expressed that Carl has a job if he does not complete school. This implies that Carl's father does not value education. Carl has siblings in feeder schools whose attendance is not known. Both facts are relevant. Assuming that the AD is encouraging staff to overlook or excuse absences for John so that he has eligibility, and that the AD is pushing John to perform, both actions are unethical. All relevant stakeholders have not been consulted, and more information is needed to make a decision. Accordingly, Mr. Rhodes must examine all options to solutions for student absences and not speculate. In the case of Karen, nothing could be done because she's newly married and taking on a new role. Comprehensively, a visit could be requested with Karen, her parents, and her teachers to get the background information on the situation. A liberal option would be to leave excused absences up to the discretion of Karen's teachers. Intermediate strategies could involve Karen attending classes online. Not knowing Karen's transportation situation, it may be that offering transportation may remedy her absences. In the case of Tyrone, no action could be taken. Comprehensively, a meeting could be requested with Tyrone, his parents, and stakeholders involved in the decision about attendance. Liberally, extensive absences for Tyrone could be seen as a beneficial learning opportunity and agree to excuse all absences that his parents deem suitable for learning. Intermediate strategies. Tyrone and stakeholders could incorporate parents' work trips into an assignment that would allow Tyrone to be at school but learn about other states as well. Tyrone could also be encouraged to attend class virtually if the choice is made for him to travel with his parents. Consequently, in an effort to improve student attendance, all options must be considered. In the case of Christina, again, nothing could be done. Comprehensively, a meeting with Christina, her parents, the ministers of their church, and stakeholders involved could be requested. Liberally, the decision as to whether or not Christina's absences are okay could be left to the discretion of her teachers. Intermediate strategies could involve altering the amount of excused absences for religious reasons. A request could be made to Christina's parents and minister to consider choosing the most important occasions for religious absences to promote student learning. In the case of Carl, again, nothing could be done. Liberally, since Carl's father has assured truant officers that Carl has a job if he chooses not to complete school, he could be allowed to continue on his own path. Immediately, Carl may need transportation to get to school, so arrangements could be offered him. Comprehensively, a visit with Carl, his parents, the trade school administration, and Carl's teachers could be requested. In the case of John, no action could be taken. Again, liberally, since John is willing to continue to play and has doctor approval, the AD could be allowed to call the shots. Comprehensively, a visit with John and his parents and key stakeholders could be requested. It may be that physical therapy could be arranged at a later time in the day. It could be that the doctor is not aware of the need for John to rest before games and may rescind the okay on his playing. Maybe John could play just the first half of the game only. Additional relevant facts and supported limitations to be considered in order to apply laws, policies, and regulations. In regards to Karen, it is relevant that she has a pattern of missing the same days. This could indicate that she has no transportation on those days. The implication that she may need a ride to school on some days. It could also be that her new husband does not encourage Karen to further her education. In regards to Tyrone, it is relevant that his parents see educational opportunities in removing Tyrone from school to travel with them. The implication is that Tyrone's parents see the opportunity to travel as a better educational opportunity, and it is relevant that Kristen's signed notes from the pastor of her church has no dates of their religious meetings. Omission of dates may imply that more time is taken than needed. Looking ahead, an action plan to begin addressing underlying causes of declining student absences. To begin to improve school attendance, importance needs to be placed on the understanding of how to use data to begin to change the mindset of the stakeholders. For these reasons, administrators should present data in a light that eliminates blame and punitive action and offers data as a tool for identifying areas for improvement of student learning. Bernhardt, 2007, Kowalski et al., 2008, Park and Datnow, 2009, Reeves, 2005. A conversation with the board of directors as to the analysis of possible reasons for the declining attendance needs to happen. In the discussion, a plan and a timeline will be presented for developing a classroom-focused improvement process. Choosing the assessments will be a priority. Assessments that show student learning, perceptual data, demographics, and implementation will be chosen and analyzed. Things to consider include presenting data in a way that stakeholders understand, consequences of these choices involving students and giving them a voice in the learning process. CFIP teams will be members of the organization with a strong desire to engage in the work of school improvement, Marzano et al. 2005. Teams will meet bi-weekly or as needed to discuss areas of need and of progress and to guide teacher learning for academic support in meeting. The meeting should yield a specific step to be taken by each task member to be addressed right away in their classroom. Furthermore, stakeholders will begin where the biggest area of need is for the classroom-focused improvement process. Perceptual data that speaks to how the stakeholders perceive the school climate and learning experience at Golden Oak will be analyzed. The consequences of this step is the possibility of implementing immediate change to improve the school climate for stakeholders. This is a step to begin addressing student attendance issues in that teachers may have opportunities for professional development to improve instructional practices, making class more enriching and engaging. Students, parents have a voice in shaping their learning environment. Perceptual data can also be done quickly and frequently and measure perceptions between various stakeholders. Improving school climate can have an immediate effect and positive impact on school attendance at Golden Oak, with the final step in CFIP being analyzing perceptual data. The data team will analyze the remaining types of data to guide decisions ranging from demographic changes within the school and community to instructional strategies and curriculum. Continuing steps in the classroom-focused improvement plan. Analyzing and aggregating the remaining types, student learning, implementation, and demographics will give a broader picture beyond the school climate. Once the analysis of the most recent interim student learning information has been aggregated by the data team, stakeholders can see areas of strengths and weaknesses. Information will guide teaching approaches and curriculum. Students should be involved in the process of improvement and by being asked on feedback for what they got from a lesson, what they might be able to improve. Responding to areas of needs for the whole class CFIP data, teams can look at what they may have accounted for areas of weakness and steps to respond. Consequences of identifying reasons for weakness allows teachers the opportunity to respond with options such as reteaching content or continuing to the next lesson, but pull through previous lessons and mini lessons. Differentiation is the next step in the process. We will follow to identify students ready for more independent work, providing enrichment or additional help, and how to provide the services. Consequences of this step may lead to tutoring programs at the school to support students. Looking to the future, classroom-focused improvement process, improving future learning can involve using creative instructional strategies to approach upcoming content that has been identified as being difficult for the students and asking what tools we can provide to support learning, being reflective practitioners and having meaningful discussions about areas of strength and weakness. The consequences of the process will improve teaching strategies and improve learning. Back to the 5 case studies. After unveiling his CFIP action plan to key stakeholders, Mr. Rhodes requested a visit with each of the 5 students and stakeholders to directly inform them of the logical consequences of continued excessive absences and to discuss ways to get back on track with each child. Considering outcomes of each of the 5 cases, steps were taken to manage consequences in the event that the 5 students' attendance did not improve. Mr. Rhodes met with social services and juvenile court and spoke to them of his plan and asked for their support and further action if necessary. In the event that a meeting to explain the consequences of excessive absences and a discussion about plans to improve the overall experience of learning at Golden Oaks for all stakeholders does not improve school attendance for the 5 students, options will be presented for alternative school and/or online learning. And these are my sources. Thank you for watching my presentation. Have a great day.